Welcome to Lawfully Chaotic, Season 5, Episode 11. Thanks for joining us tonight, or watching after the fact, as the case may be. I'm Brian with RPG&Co, and with me, as always, are my cohorts in crime. Kristen from Kristen's...
Whoa, don't put that on video. I mean, I don't want to be...
What?
I don't want this to be evidence. I mean, come on now. I'm more of a passive... I'm more of a passive assistant in your criminal enterprise.
Jason, we commit a crime every Thursday by forcing people to watch us.
Dude, I commit a crime every time I wake up the following morning. So, you know, I get it.
And Jason of TTRPG Academy. Tonight we're gonna, I think we're just gonna do like State of the Game and just talk about game news and stuff.
Yeah, I got lots of interesting stuff. I think Kristen brought it up last week. Dungeon Crawler Carl, $8.7 million.
Oh, some of that money is Brian's.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So I told you.
He loves a good Kickstarter.
He does.
So, no, it's like, you know, that's why I didn't look at it. And as soon as you mentioned it last week, I'm like, I'll take a look at it. I'm not walking down buying it. It's like, honest to God, it's like, you know, as soon as I get onto the page, I'm like, well, now I'm down there.
They have gold foil embossing. I'll buy of them.
It's funny though. So I did, and I'm looking, and I will say this: I don't like the way they did the tiers. They did not do that well. Because normally it's, you know, basic tier, and then you go to tier 2, and it's everything in basic plus. Well, they didn't do that. It's this one has all this. This one has all this. This one has all. So I got a little bit confused, mostly due to laziness. And I'm like, fuck it, I'll just do the $490 one. And then I was like, it's a little extreme. So I pulled back $320.
Like that.
What's that?
I said, you dropped $500 just like that?
No, I rethought it and I dropped $300 just like that. I realized I don't really need the pre-painted minis, so I forgoed. But yeah, so I'm in for that too now.
All right.
But I actually started re-listening to the audiobooks. I just started on book 1 like 2 days ago. So, and I've, it's still like, oh my God, it is. Matt Denneman there's a lot of creative people out there over the years that have done a lot of creative things, but this guy, to think up all of that shit to both the level of fantastical detail and to the level of backstory, deeper and deeper and deeper schemes going on. I'm still just blown away by that whole story. It's fucking incredible. So, anyway.
Well, I'm glad you found it interesting enough to back. That's all.
Well, thank you, Kristen.
I look forward to the show and tell episode when you unbox it.
Absolutely.
I want to see.
All right.
Yeah.
I got something
to
talk about or to bring up. I got a couple of things. I want to do them first because I know Jason's probably got them on his list. So, and then it'll make me look like I'm not prepared, which is usually the case. But tonight I am.
Very much.
Ooh, he's prepared.
The first one is, and this is probably not new anymore, but the Daggerheart expansion. That one.
I do have to check that out. That will be the next thing I'd probably buy.
That one,
I believe, came out for pre-order about a month ago, 30 days ago, or something like that?
A couple of weeks ago. Yeah, 2-3 weeks-ish for pre-order.
Now in September, I think that you can actually get it in September.
Yeah, that one was a no-brainer. Both versions.
I want that one. Now, I saw some people say though that they couldn't. The pre-order, I don't know. Can you get it by itself? Some people said it was only going to come with the core set.
Well,
I don't need the set. I already have it.
No, it's
a couple things.
It's a separate expansion.
Oh, it's separate?
There's a deluxe version and a standard version like they did with the core game.
Yeah, so Daggerheart Hope and Fear Unveiled is what they announced on April 14th. There's two. I mean, they always have people like Brian in mind. So there's one that's very much a collector's edition and then one that's a little bit more affordable and kind of basic. But what I thought was interesting is on April 21st, they announced their class packs on their Daggerheart birthday week. You can now get class pack card sets. So you can get the Seraph, the Wizard, the Rogue, the Ranger. That way, I think this is a way to encourage players who are focused on one particular character type that they're playing, that they can just get the pack.
They allowed that before. You didn't have to buy the entire set. You could buy it per class.
Well, no, these are design packs that they released on the 21st. April 21st. If you go to daggerheart.com and go to the news channel, they show you everything that they release.
Okay. Build your
character. Feedback off Brian again? I think I am getting feedback.
No, you are not, and I'm not changing anything because
no touchy.
Test. No, I'm getting feedback. I don't know. Maybe it's me.
It's not you. It's me.
Okay, so here's the class packs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. I mean, I feel like this means that they're mainstream, that they're like, they're kind of, proving that you can now start rolling out expansions and supplements and everything. I think, but I'm a little concerned. I need to get that screen for sure. But I'm a little
limit 3 per customer on this.
I'm a little concerned that once again they're going to have a limited run of the release.
Yeah.
And those limited runs usually mean not everyone is going to Yeah,
but they're pretty good.
Get it.
They'll put it in game stores too, though.
Unless they state that it is truly a limited edition, they're pretty good about reprinting it and putting it back up on the store.
Well, when they did the unveiled video, they were, they were like, of the deluxe edition, they're having a very limited run of those, and then the basic edition of the Hope and Fear release, they're like, we're gonna make as many as we can, but that first release of Daggerheart, they ran out. And people were stuck waiting on back order for that to, get caught up. So
I might order a second version, a second copy of the deluxe.
Why do you need 2?
So I can sell one.
Do we need to put you on that Hoarders TV show?
Brian is a member of the FOMO Nation. His fear of missing out is overwhelming.
Yeah,
you don't need 2 if you already have.
Well,
he's on back on the consumerism here, bud.
Yeah, and I do think this is his design mentality. Like, he loves artwork and design, and he loves stuff that he's involved in, and there's not really a limit placed on stuff like that, because he'll come back next week and say, you know what, you're right, 2 just wasn't enough, I ended up getting 3.
Good Lord.
So wait a minute. Oh, I already used the discount code. Whatever.
I think he's ordering it as we speak.
I am. Hold on.
Oh my gosh.
I can't find the credit card.
He is a shopaholic.
All right, I'll have to check out later. I'm not going to make you watch while I'm playing. Anyway, so very, very excited about that. There's some new classes in there: the Witch, the Warlock, and I think there was one other one. I think there's a few new races.
We had a Witch in our game, remember?
We did,
we did.
Still playtesting. I liked the Witch.
So, anyway, the other thing that I thought was interesting was, did you hear the WotC union news?
I did.
No, I did not hear that.
Oh,
I haven't really been following. I haven't really been following any WotC stuff because I'm just kind of blah and meh on them anyways. So it's
so a bunch of their creators have gotten together and they're looking into forming a union.
They'll just fire them and hire chatbots.
So I thought that was pretty interesting.
They are attempting anyway.
They're attempting to. Yeah.
It's not company wide. It's a certain like subset of the company.
I think it's very, very constrained to their their core creatives. I think there were some issues that they had, obviously, with AI. No surprise, and just just basically wanting to protect themselves as creators in an environment like that. So.
Yeah, I know. Whenever I go to work in my acreage, I break out my steam locomotive and my steam tractor and my cotton gin. And I mean, I hate to say it, we've been here before and the change still happens. So I'm not really sure. The narrative with AI is being very controlled by very kind of specific groups on both the left and the right. I'm
not commenting on. This is purely informational. I will. I don't.
To me, AI is just another tool in your tool belt, and I think as soon as people realize that that's all it is, and everything else just falls away like chaff, this whole bump in the road will go away, and life will return relatively back to normal. But I mean, they're going to use AI agents to make scripts. They're going to use AI video to make storyboards, because as fun as it is when you watch The Mandalorian, you get to the end of the episode and they have all the artwork at the end of the episode, which is their storyboard method that they use when they design the episode, is what that's for. Notebook LM lets me do that for my session. So it's like, if I want to storyboard the session, I can do that. So it's like, I don't know. It's a hard argument because the data centers are destroying cities, but yet that's because they're trying to use AI for more than it was intended. If they just keep it limited to its tool valuation, I think the journey will be a lot more palatable, and it'll hyper extend that concern of job shift and industry shift. But man, do they just? I mean, the stock market is 60% AI now. Like,
I agree with
crazy,
you, but I don't agree with you. I agree with you in principle, but it'll never happen. And I'll be honest, I don't have the mental capacity for this discussion tonight.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome to discuss it. All I will say is, it's already been proven that it's been abused to hell already, and it will continue to be, and it'll never be the tool that it should be.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm a forever optimist. I have the unfortunate. I am unfortunately terrified that I'm going to live to be 112, and not like the happy 112, but like the stooped over. My hands are going to turn into claws. I'm going to be one giant liver mark, and I'm just going to be 112, outlive everybody and still be an optimist. I mean, that just sounds.
I hope that AI, the one thing I hope it learns how to do is to take our brains and stick it in an android body, because sign me up. I'll be the first one.
Right. Then your knees won't hurt.
I want to be. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, my knees won't hurt anymore.
Yeah, I want to be.
You don't have to be tired that you can't sleep. You just shut yourself off.
Exactly.
You reboot.
Be like C-3PO. Excuse me, sir. If you won't be needing me anymore, I'd like to turn myself off.
Yeah, thank you.
Go ahead.
There we go.
I want to be murdered, but I'd be all over that shit. Honestly, people are like, yeah, but I'm like, nope, I'll do it.
So,
like
Dungeons and Dragons, the Dungeon Master series. Their first. I haven't had a chance
to watch it yet because I want to watch the whole thing at once.
Yeah, this is more about the analytics. So their first drop is episodes 1 and 2.
Right.
With over 1 million views 7 days ago.
Wow.
That's a solid indicator right there. And then what they did is they later on, a few days later, they dropped episode 1 by itself, and then episode 2 by itself. And then episode 3 dropped yesterday. Episode 3 dropped yesterday. They're already at 25,000 views. The Dungeons and Dragons Dungeon Masters channel, which is the channel that is hosting it, is a brand new channel. They're already almost up to 18,000 subscribers in 2 weeks. So, I mean, they've got a nice thing going here. So, you know, it's just only a matter of time before WotC fucks
Maybe
it up.
that's the secret to getting more followers. Maybe I'm gonna just change my feed to Dungeons and Dragons.
Brian, trying would give you more followers.
This is true.
However, what I'd love to talk about, I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but they just announced the finalists for the Academy of Adventure Gaming and Arts Design for the 49th Annual Academy. And it's called the Origin Awards. They've been around for almost...
Origins? I think I've heard of the Origin Awards and the ENnie Awards. I've heard of.
Those are the two like prestigious ones that all the creators chase. What's interesting is WotC is nowhere, like D&D is nowhere on this list. Daggerheart came in 5th for role-playing game of the year. So they're one of the finalists for role-playing game of the year. But what I really loved, I love seeing Chaosium is on here multiple times. Free League Game is on here multiple times.
They're so good.
You know, where's the other one that came out? Like Chaosium for finalists for Supplement of the Year. They're on here 1, 2, 3 times just for the Supplement of the Year.
Nice.
And then Free League is in Supplement of the Year as well as Game of the Year. But Free League, Coriolis, the Great Dark.
I played a little bit of that. It was very good.
I haven't played or looked into that yet, so now I'm intrigued.
I like it.
So Age of Vikings, I need to look into. That's Chaosium. And then Free League's Coriolis, the Great Dark. There's Chew, the role-playing game. Cthulhu Bay, Land of Them Deluxe Bot Set. The Cosmere RPG Stormlight Starter set.
A lot of people are into that.
Yeah, so that I need to get my hands on that. I just hope they have a digital copy of it. Starfighter 2nd Edition made the list.
Interesting.
The Bonsai Diary, and dig this, Bri. Warhammer, the Old World Role-Playing Game Player's Guide by Cubicle 7 is on the finalist list as well. So I thought that was pretty cool.
When do they decide who wins?
I'm not sure. I'll have to go to the Origins.
Do we get to go vote, or is it like a board that votes or something?
I think it's similar to like SAG and stuff, you know, Emmys and Oscars, where a contingent of members, you know, go in there and they fill out a ballot, and that determines.
Oh, how very posh!
It's super bougie. It's super bougie.
Bougie.
But I gave up my voting rights because I wanted to be able to do non-union work also. So they allow you to do that, but then you don't need voting rights.
Then you can't vote. Yeah,
which
makes sense.
Fuck. Did you? Have either of you guys tried the Alchemy VTT?
No,
I don't think so.
I don't know that I have heard of it.
Usually, one game is on Foundry, and then the other game we just use a free Owlbear Rodeo.
Are you talking about the VTT Alchemy or VTT Alchemist?
Alchemy.
It
is. So I just ran into it yesterday because I was looking at the Daggerheart stuff.
Right.
I don't know how new this is.
I have looked at this.
Okay, so I have not played it or interacted with it until right now.
Oh, look at it move!
It's got a large game library, quite large actually. The interesting, and I need to, literally just today, I downloaded the desktop app, but it is a huge game library.
Once again, my challenge with these kind of VTTs is it forces me to recreate everything I've already done. So it's like, I've got to go in, rebuild everything.
I have that game.
You know, so.
And I don't know.
My problem is my computer can't handle it because it's old.
So the interesting about this is it's completely free. Full version is completely free, but you apparently, and again, don't quote me because, like I said, my knowledge of this is 6 hours old. But it looks like you buy the game itself. So if you want the digital version of Daggerheart, it's $45, and then you can play it on Alchemy. It looks pretty polished. Obviously, like I said, I need to look into it further, but I think I may check it out because it looks. I mean, it's a pretty polished website, and
I did enjoy the wallpaper. Like if you're in the midst of your session, and you have access to all this wallpaper and video style wallpaper for immersion, I thought that was interesting.
It says that it is geared towards more cinematic play. You can use a map with a grid, but it sounds like it is meant to be a little more freeform. Here's your map with all of the, the lighting effects and the animations, and it's got rulers and stuff like that, which, Roll20 and Maps VTT does.
Right.
So it's nothing new, but it seems pretty, like I said, seems pretty slick and polished. My problem, and I don't even know that I would say it's a problem. So the game is $45. Daggerheart is. So what's the other one? Demiplane. So Demiplane, you pay a subscription fee, and then whatever games are on there, I think you have access to, but you still need to purchase some of the content for those, except it seems to be a little less expensive.
Yeah, it's discounted because of their partnership.
Right. So this one seems to be taking a different track where they give you the tool for free, full featured. There's no like deluxe tier. Well, actually there is, but it's all like community stuff that you get to play it and use it. It's free. And then you buy the game that you want to play, which, I guess an extra $45 to have Daggerheart within this system, if you're using it, really isn't that bad. It's basically.
How many versions of Daggerheart are you going to buy?
Well,
2 copies of the hardcover book.
Is it like, do you then own Daggerheart? Or do you then, like, here's Daggerheart Enhanced and for $44.99, and here's Daggerheart for $34.99. I don't know the difference yet. Are you going to have to buy the Daggerheart Hope and Fear when that comes out? So I don't really know. I don't know. It caught my eye. I'm going to look into it more.
Yeah, I still have it downloaded on my PC. I was intrigued by it.
Same.
The challenge I have is that because I do it professionally and I really want to limit the demands of the player's requirements, this requires that a version of this be downloaded onto their system. And I have players that don't really have systems that can run it. Like for them,
now that I didn't know. Can you run this? Like, can a player run it on their browser? Or does everybody?
No, you have to download the launch vehicle and then you.
Oh wow! Okay.
It's the only way they can join in, right? Because it's a platform that they're supposed to join and play. It's not like it's not like you're a DM presenting the platform to them. They have to join it in order to see everything, which means, it's one more resource that's going to take up time on their system, players don't like to do that. They prefer, that they don't have to do much other than show up and play the game.
Yeah, that's interesting. I actually didn't know that you had to run it.
And because StreamYard's a browser-based tool, there's not a lot of limitations on StreamYard.
Well, aren't they all like how does Demiplane work?
Demiplane is browser-based, but you don't have to have it other than for your character sheet.
Okay.
Just like D&D.
I mean, theoretically, you could run this the same way, where you as a DM runs this through OBS.
No, because they need access to their character sheet within the integration of the platform. So this is a traditional VTT platform that says everybody has to be on it to have the experience. So, it's not like they can go into alchemy.com. Alchemy.com is where they go download the launch vehicle,
Okay.
but it's not like they can go there and have access to their character sheet. You know, their character sheet is inside the platform. So
okay, so yeah, that is I agree. That's a little bit of a hurdle and a big ask. Unless you have if you're a paid DM and you have a lot of tables and a lot of different players rather than a core group of friends and everybody agrees to it.
Right.
That is kind of a
you know, with the innovation of tablets, I have players that play on their 16-inch tablets because it's big enough for them to have the experience, but yet they're using their phone for D&D Beyond. So it's not like, it's not like it's a horrific limiting factor. But I do like the polish of it, though. I really do like the polish of it.
That's what caught my eye. Is it looks really slick. I mean, Demiplane so far. We've been using Demiplane when we played your Dagger.
Yeah. In fact, you play Daggerheart with us next Tuesday. Your Neon and Ley Lines. We have our session next Tuesday. So.
Demiplane works pretty good when we play Gary's game. We still use D&D Beyond for character sheets, but he runs it in Roll20. But D&D Beyond, there's an API, so you can pull your D&D Beyond character sheets over to Roll20. So, I guess when I run games, I'm currently using D&D Beyond. I'm using their map tool. I'm using their encounters. Again, for me, it's working. It's working well enough right now. Because I'm kind of still, for stuff like this, I kind of like to do all of the research ahead of time. I don't like, trying out 3 of them at one time. It's like, I like to try to decide on one and commit to it, which is hard to do unless you jump in to like 3 different ones at a time and actually really use it. And I'm having a hard time. It seems like each one has like one thing or a couple things that kind of are detractors, and I haven't yet settled on one VTT that I think I really want to commit the time.
Kristen, do you have any online games going right now?
Yeah, both. I only have 2 games and they're both online. One we just play through Discord and use Owlbear Rodeo, but the other one we play on Foundry. Well, we use Discord and Foundry, but and I found Foundry hard to try to use as a DM. I don't mind it as a player, but they just did an update and my computer does not like it at all. Because like I said, I have a pretty old laptop and the hard drive's getting full and it's starting to freak out certain times. And with the update they just did, I think last Sunday, it crashed twice on me mid-game.
I'll be honest. Foundry is one that I did leap into, and remember, Jason, I was talking about, do I want to try Tailspire or do I not want to jump into Foundry? And I, as a DM, I never even got to actually running a game in it. I found it really difficult to learn, to the point where I kind of did not want to take the time to do it. And now Tailspire is still on my list to learn, because if I'm going to put in that much time to learn a platform, I'd rather have a 3D isometric, more immersive, tool than just a top-down 2D. It's I agree with you. I thought it was a very steep learning curve. I think that VTTs, I don't know. I feel like you can't put that onus on a DM to spend that much time learning a platform. Right. That is one thing.
Yeah, you're already trying to learn the rules of the game, be competent enough to run the game, and to learn the VTT too. It's like, oh my gosh, overwhelmed.
Yeah. So that's where I'll say something like, D&D Beyond and Demiplane, and I would assume just by looking at that Alchemy are much easier to slide into and to start using than like a Foundry or a Tailspire. So anyway.
What do you think of Owlbear Rodeo, Kristen, since you've been playing in that?
I like that one. I mean, you have to put in obviously your own maps, and it's all just top down, whatever. But I mean, we like it a lot. And they've even gone through we started playing when it was the first version, and they're on 2.0 now or something, and they upgraded some stuff that we like, and whatnot. I found ways to use it. I almost use it more like I'll do like a splash screen, you know, as like for an intro, and you can hide things from the players that you don't want them to see until a certain time, and then like reveal them. And so I usually have stuff like hidden off to the side,
Right,
you know,
right.
and cover it up so they can't see it. But I'll have everything ready. So I'll have like maps ready and tokens ready. And with the time we did play Daggerheart, I had, because you can max out at 12 fear, I had like 12 little Daggerheart logos that I would either hide or reveal so they could tell how much fear I had. And it works for us. We're pretty simple. We don't have to have all this
but I
fancy
think
stuff.
that, and see, I think that is why Owlbear probably has become the more popular of the choices. Because they don't try to shoot for the moon. Like I feel like when D&D Beyond and WotC went for Sigil, it was like they went for something that people weren't asking for. You know, it's like, you know, look at what people want. Talk to that community. Like
see, it looks like it does a lot more that we don't even use, but we just use the free version.
Yeah, I mean, there's the animated maps. I mean, Owlbear, but Owlbear, I think, hits that stride of the basics that people need to have their online game experience.
I'm not familiar with Owlbear Rodeo. How would it compare to Roll20? Because I know Roll20 is pretty.
I don't know.
It's pretty open source and pretty easy to start using, but I know for a while it really was lacking in a lot of features, and they've recently done a lot of updates that have
right. Well, this doesn't integrate with anything. It's you gotta like build the stuff yourself. Like you gotta go find a map and drop it in and get your tokens.
Does it have a character sheet thing, or
no?
Is there
it has a dice roller? That's it. It may, and I just don't know it. We just use the free version, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I think the free version with Owlbear is a pretty polished VTT two-dimensional map. And when you sign in, you're able to use your own token. See, I like the idea that it doesn't bog down Kristen's laptop. You know, it's a very simple, kind of like it's a very simple interactive feature that allows people to kind of have a mind theater that at least in an online environment, they can meet the basic requirements. And obviously if you buy the different tiers, but the different tiers make sense too. I mean, free, 333 and 666. I mean, it's not like they're breaking the bank to offer you a few,
cheapest one that I've seen.
But I think Roll20's problem now is they bought Demiplane, right? So Roll20 and Demiplane are the same company now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But Demiplane had a very clunky. Yeah, we tried it. Remember, Brian? We tried Demiplane's launch system for their pay to play, and it was very clunky and it wasn't very good.
The character sheets, like it was like latency in accepting all of the changes that you made on your character sheet. It was kind of weird.
Yeah. Now, though, the character sheet thing I think is finally polished.
Yeah.
And I would say that Demiplane, if they were to focus on the character sheet base as their main thing that they want to polish, so that any game that you play, whether it's Aliens or Daggerheart or D&D or Cthulhu, Candle Obscura is on there, and they have a great character sheet method for Candle Obscura too. So it's
hold on,
really,
Demiplane though does not have a map feature. It's not
so they just recently added the campaign feature. They do have a launch feature that includes a journal and a way for people to interact with each other. But I think the reason why Roll20 and Demiplane kind of went the way that they did together is they're eventually going to integrate Roll20 solution directly into Demiplane as well. So you'll have your VTT solution and your campaign solution all kind of melded together. I think that's what their intent of doing this is. But
I feel like, you kind of touched on this with the Sigil thing. Nobody was asking for it. Everybody just wanted a D&D Beyond that actually worked and had basic functionality. And they went off the deep end. And I kind of feel like either a lot of these VTT platforms, the reason I personally feel like I haven't landed on one, again, is because it seems like they're either very simple and consequently very simple to use, which is a good thing, but then lacking either the map feature or the tie-in to the IP for content or whatever, or they're just trying to serve up too much. And again, it's like, I don't want all of that.
And there's
shit.
a handful. I don't know if you guys have.
It's easy to learn and that works well. So I don't
know if you guys have seen it.
Spot.
I don't know if you guys have seen it out there, but there's all these little kind of Atlas-driven platforms where you build your world and then you share that world with people and they can interact with that world that you build. So there's that version, and then there's all the VTT versions. There's content-driven VTT versions, and then there's content-driven platforms where it's just your character sheet. And I feel like the whole industry is kind of all over the place. Like, yeah. And I don't think Sigil's failure helped any, because if a big old company like WotC can't pull it off, then what do you do? What are you looking for?
Well, we've talked about this ad nauseum. The WotC couldn't pull it off because WotC doesn't have a fucking brain in their head. Well,
they're just missing the community interaction, is what.
Well, they still have at this point. I don't think it's too late if they really truly get off their asses. But again, all of their roadmap shit is.
So what I want. I had to build from scratch, right? So like, I would love to be able to go into D&D Beyond and have some kind of atlas that ties everything together. Mm-hmm. And because what really got me inspired is 3 of my tables right now have gotten their bastions, and they're having a lot of fun building their bastions. And I'm like, in the content perspective of the book and the way bastions are done, they look like a lot of fun, right? But there's not really an interactive platform anywhere in D&D Beyond that gives you this kind of cool feature to build your bastion as a journaled like entry in the campaign. So that everyone can kind of share what they want to do and have it. So, we reach out and we use Discord instead, right? We use Discord as our community interaction. We use Tailspire as our mapping system and our combat system. I use Discord to drop all the lore and all the stuff to create the immersive world. I don't really want to do that. I would love to have a platform that we're already using for character sheets. That I don't need it to be a VTT solution, but I would love an atlas. Like, I would love a really cool solution atlas that says, in the land of Anarok, there's this city with this, where I could build common knowledge lore for people to review and have fun with it. And then I could add my own DM notes directly to it, so the players can go, a DM note got dropped. Let's go see what's going on in this city, because the city was kind of boring last time, and now we've got a DM note that's been dropped. Maybe something cool is happening in the city, and there's this great map out there, this great interactive map out there. I don't know. I think Brian has seen it. It's by Mike Shiley. Mike Shiley built this amazing interactive map for Faerun, for Sword Coast, for Waterdeep, for Neverwinter, Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, Schult, Menzoberranzan, the Leith provincial map, Leith map, Kara-Tor. He built the Kara-Tor map, Greyhawk map, and City of Greyhawk map. So when you go to his atlas and you click on little bullets and highlights, it'll say Borough Heights is the primary halfling neighborhood within the Free City walls. To the casual observer, it appears to be a small, hilly park, but a closer look reveals. So he's got this really cool interactive atlas of all these different maps that he's built, which I've been using with like a handful of my tables. And they really appreciate it, but we can't really edit it or drop notes, or we can't, we can decide that the content that's in it is common lore or common history. That way it helps the players decide where they'd like to go, or where they would, like to journey to, or how it ties into something. So it's like, I've got this cool map for when I'm doing Faerun stuff. I use the Daggerheart Void for all the adversary updates and stuff. It's like do you guys remember when we were promised the universal subscription for all content related to streaming, right? You would just pay one flat fee and then you get access to all the content out there, we
were promised the same thing. Oh, you mean with TV streaming?
Yeah, with TV streaming. Remember that? Yeah. Right.
It'll be so great. That last
right
here, and now we're right back to where we were with
which I thought was, I mean, to a certain degree, I hate to say it, but they're kind of all flailing, kind of similar to what
and everybody, everything's bundled. It's a mess. Everything is bundled.
And I realize this is more interesting.
I know
this is more interesting to the DM community.
Yeah,
and there's fewer of us. We're not a big money marketing community. There's not a lot of us, so I get why these are all front-sided driven towards players, because I mean, even Demi playing when they released Daggerheart, they hit over 500,000 characters built, and they probably gone far beyond that.
Again, it's from a business model standpoint, that's short-term thinking, because unless your DM uses that tool, you could create all the character sheets you want, and they're meaningless because you're never going to get to use them.
I don't know. I think the bulk of the DMs are like Kristen, like your tables rotates, right? Where one person DMs for a while, then another person DMs for a while. Are you? How? Last time you mentioned that's kind of what you guys were doing.
It used to. I mean, the ones we're playing right now, the DM's been the DM for a while. But I think it's just because some of us just don't have the time to be the DM.
And see, that's it right there. How do we finally get a tool that's not a time suck? I think that's the big ask.
And again, a company needs to. It's short-sighted thinking, because a company really, if they wanted to be smart about it, they would sit down and they would really ask themselves, what does the community want, both from a DM standpoint and a player standpoint. And in my opinion, a really well-built platform shouldn't have a huge disparity between the two. It should feel natural for anybody playing the game, whether you're running it or playing it. And again, it's everybody wants to offer the moon to say, oh, ours is the best, look at all these features. I don't want 60% of those features. I want to be able to learn this in 2 days. I want it to run smoothly for everybody. I want it to do the basic stuff I need it to do very well. And nobody, in my opinion, nobody's hit that mark yet. And I know that it's a tall ask when you're talking about IP, and you've got a D&D Beyond, which obviously doesn't have that issue now since WotC bought them, and it's all under one roof. You've got a Demiplane and an Alchemy where you can buy this IP. So obviously that puts a set of constraints on that product off the bat. So it's not, I'm not saying it's an easy solution in terms of how it integrates, but in terms of the tool itself, I don't, in my opinion, like I said, nobody's hit it yet, because everybody is, like you said,
I think Kristen hits the precise problem on the nail on the head, which is nobody wants to invest in a new computer anymore, right? They want to, if I need a computer to make a living, that's a different conversation to have with yourself, right? But if I need a computer to just play a couple online games with my friends, how do I justify that $2,000 bill to do that?
Right? Because I look at it as like, I'm not looking to get some Alienware thing and play online games on Steam. I just want to play TTRPGs with my friends. Shouldn't the internet just be good enough for that?
And I think you're absolutely right. I think that's the problem that both the VC industry that gets approached with these ideas, and I think the pre-existing companies that control content run into that problem too. I think no matter what makes sense is your solution should be browser based. If you can make your solution browser based, and that's your epic, that's your big epic that you put up on your board, and you run from that epic, a
VTT that will not run on an average computer, to me, that says that is already a tool that is way overcomplicated and has and just does not give you what you need. If you can't run Foundry on your computer, then that's ridiculous. It's a VTT, like you said. It's not a 3D, MMO. You know what I mean?
The technology,
but it's doing like dynamic lighting. And
exactly. So like
dice rolling. And...
So I don't know if you guys ever noticed this, but if you use the D&D Beyond dice for older computers, they chug, they slow down.
It fucking bogs with all the other shit I'm running. It bogs mine down, and I'm running an M3 Mac.
So the challenge, or not really the challenge, I think if there's an acceptance for HTML kind of development of universal solution, right? And you decide that everything that you want to roll out to your client base, whether they're a DM or a player, is irrelevant. You just got to make a decision. Right? What's the best way for me to express an online tool? The best way to express an online tool is to use the one thing that everyone has access to, which is a web browser, right? So once you make that commitment and you develop within that kind of framework of that commitment, you will develop an amazing tool that the majority of the people are going to inherit and adopt, because it's a simple fix to a common problem. I don't want to upgrade my system right now. I don't want to spend the $2,000, but I already know that web-based solutions mitigate themselves by the mere function.
Oh, look at StreamYard. Why do we use
StreamYard's a great example.
Yeah.
I mean, they should be paying me every time I say the word StreamYard. But StreamYard, once again, is a complete solution to my interface tool set, right? So I can share art, I can share audio, we can feel like we're around the table. It's got an interactive system built in for private messaging. There's
other than a couple tweaks to maybe a second or third overlay channel, a second or third audio channel, other than back end shit like that, there's nothing that I can think of that I, say to myself, oh, I wish StreamYard had the ability to do this. Which again, it does what it's supposed to do exceptionally well without stuff.
I don't ask often from the platform creation world, but I would love, there's the Onyx system, which is an Atlas. There's other platforms out there that get a little bit too engineer heavy for you to build your world. And I'm like, I don't want to have to code in HTML to build my world. I just want to point and click and drop things into things and be done with it. But I think the one thing that my professional DM career is missing is I would love a unified Atlas tool that the players could go to and explore the lore on their own and really feel tied to that final kind of piece of the immersion of the game. I mean, when they show up for game day, they're fully in, right? They're having that full immersion. But I would love for them to have their own little playground when they're offline, where they can go in and drop their own artwork, or put in a journal note that says, by the way, we decided to go with this
lift.
You would think it is, but once you realize your limitations for what you can do in a web browser, it gets harder. It gets a lot harder when you're more limited to a solution where someone downloads a .exe file, right?
What about running through Steam? Steam kind of baselines it, not as much as a browser, but doesn't it?
To Kristen's point, though, once again, as
I've had Steam games bogged down too. You're right.
And I think Steam itself is an evolving access point, so it starts making changes like, oh, by the way, we'd like your zip code and your birth date before you log in. So I try to limit things so that players don't feel exposed to information being accessible on the web. I would
say all of these reasons we've been discussing tonight are the exact reason why I love playing in person. get your sheet, get your pencil, get your dice, come over to my house. We'll get pizza. We'll
use
sit
whatever
around
you
the table.
want for your character sheet, whether it's
I like
D&D
to
Beyond or
have the
General
actual
Plan.
book.
Yeah.
You know, I always was like, you know, one end of the dining room table is mine because I'm DM, and then I literally would have. I have one of those one of the rolling 3-tiered IKEA carts. And it would be filled with D&D stuff. I just roll it in the
I feel
closet.
bad. I have like 3 of those in my studio.
I love those things.
Yeah.
And I would roll
I have
it
my
out
Christy, you're so right, because I have my battle map cart.
There's not enough room at the table.
Yeah, you know, like when people are getting ready to come in, I know it's going to be an encounter. I have 3 possible maps built for the day, you know, for the session, just in case. But then I have another teacher's cart where it's got drawers for you know, all the different bits and bobs that might be needed. But I wish someone could sit down with me and organize my data, because I know that my data proves that if you're going to be a professional DM at the table is not a moneymaker. It's never going to be a moneymaker, right? So
not with the time that it takes.
But the other thing online play solves, it really helps the neurodivergent. It really helps the ADD and ADHD folks, because when they're in live group sessions with people, they are so overwhelmed and they tend to shut down more and they become like hyper introverted. But every single one of the majority of my tables has at least 1 or 2 neurodivergent person at the table. And they're so extroverted. They feel freed up. They feel less overwhelmed. They feel like they're in their safe space to have this opportunity to play.
But running games like
if I had my druthers, because I like using old people words, if I had my druthers, I would always play at the table. You're absolutely right. It's such a much more.
Stop playing.
And I'm just playing for fun with my friends.
Yeah,
and we're only playing over the internet because
you're all over the place.
Because we live in different areas.
Yeah, we were for a while. We were playing. We started playing again, and we were going over to my buddy's house because we were all in the Chicago area. So you know, once a month
to go to somebody's house.
Right, and then Gary lives not in Illinois. And he's GMing, so now we're back to remote. So I haven't played or run a game at the table in probably 2 years.
Almost a year for me now, too.
I haven't had anything in person since I moved to Florida.
I do miss it. I think I was thinking about this the other week. It's funny you bring it up. I think my ultimate setup would be to have a small studio like a block or 2 away that I could walk to. And there are places in my neighborhood that are like that. And have it set up, you know, so because it's too, we don't have the space at home and it's too hard to set it up and break it down every time. But for me, my ultimate setup would be to have a little studio space, have like a true like Game Theory or somebody, you know, gaming table with the inset middle with a screen in it, so that you get the animated maps. Those setups are just phenomenal. So you feel like you get the technology immersion, but you're still at the table playing
a little bit of everything.
Yeah. So
and I think one of the things I really wanted to add to my studio to kind of do that is I was going to move my 3-dimensional shelves off of this wall and put up a 90-inch screen TV over here. And then I wanted to add mood lighting up in up in the studio rafters up here. But it's like when I started thinking about those wonderful things I want to do for a live table, I'm like, I haven't had a live table. I haven't had a physical live table in a year. So it's like,
I have a request of you. Next time we do show and tell, I want you to show and tell your studio, because I've always wondered. It's like this nebulous space, and all I see are your shelves behind you. I would love it.
I'm currently putting together a video for Gen Con. I'm going to go to their May Gen Con to talk to an organizer. But I had mentioned this before. I'm building a dungeon crawl community set where people can just walk in, play. You know, and it's going to be designed for Gen Con. It was originally called the Monster Mash from previous Dragon Con days, and I want to bring a little bit of it back, where, you know, Tiamat's going to be at the end. You know, it starts in the village, and then you're crawling through the dungeons and everything to get to Tiamat. Yeah, I know. So what I'm going to do is, I think I have a little bit of time this weekend. I was going to start building that on my table to make a video as a way to present it to the people that I need to talk to in May and say,
cool.
You know, because the idea was people show up, their mini and their character sheet printout is on a shelf. They go pick what they want to play. They pull it off the shelf. Once you have a quorum of like 3 to 5 people, then we kick it off. And for the next 3 hours, you create a bracket board to see how far people get.
Yeah.
Right. And then at the end of the con, you have first, second, and third place. And you have like little awards that you can give out to those folks that participated.
That's awesome.
Because I want to develop something that's like level 5, you know, or between level 3 and 5. They could come and experience D&D for the first time, like I did at a con. To me, when I did the Monster Mash for the first time when I was 12 years old, that has stuck with me for the rest of my life. And now that Kristen's got me on the nostalgia trail, Kristen, you're right. I miss live table games very much.
I do too.
I really do.
And I mean, we never really did. We didn't, as much as all the fancy stuff sounds fun and interesting, we never got fancy or anything either. And you gotta remember, like, a lot of these weren't most of us like kids 12 years old crammed into the basement on a folding table with some pizza and some dice.
You had basements? You know? Boy, how bougie.
Yes, I grew up with a basement.
We had cardboard on the lawn in somebody's backyard. That's what we played.
There you go. Like whatever, you know,
Right?
It doesn't matter. I remember friends in high school like getting out a folding table and a couple chairs and just squishing it in the corner and be like, "We can play right here. It's fine."
You're so right, because I have a vivid memory of me, Rick, Brooks, Jeff, and a couple other players. I was the DM. And we were in somebody's house. I don't remember whose house it was, but they had younger sisters, like younger siblings. And so we were playing at the kitchen table. And one of the players would be like, I'm having a hard time understanding and visualizing this. What can we do? And I look over and there's this Sorry board set over there. And I'm like, I got this.
Sorry.
I went over to the Sorry game, pulled out all the little pawns.
Yeah.
Right. And then I cut little pieces of paper and stuck like little sketched little sketched images and letters on the paper. I said, okay, these are monsters. This is you guys. They're guarding this. What do you guys want to do? You know, it was like we did everything on the fly. We did everything.
Yeah.
We didn't do anything.
And I don't mind. I love a
It
good
just
game
happened.
where everything is theater of the mind. I don't mind that at all.
Oh, I love that. If I can I would love to take people way back and run a short form campaign at the table where it's just your character sheet.
Yeah.
You could have a mini, because the very first time we used minis was only to resolve the order of the march. So we used to use minis exclusively as a reference to help the DM remember what order the players were in whenever they were traveling or in the dungeon, or it just helped the DM organize their theater of the mind better. And then one person had a piece of graph paper.
Yeah, right. You make the map.
Yeah,
I don't want to make the map. No, you got to make the map.
Like as I'm sitting there, I go, okay, I go 50 feet in front of you. You see a door. The corridor is about 10 feet wide, 10 feet tall, and it feels like maybe dwarves might have built this corridor. So it feels well done, right? So the person mapping would simply just draw on a piece of graph paper that 50 feet representation of a corridor. So there was a time period when I didn't help them leave the dungeon. You know, they would draw the map, and they would use the map as a reference point via theater of the mind to try to make their way back out the dungeon.
What I would love to do now is just be like, yeah, come on over, whatever. And like, we even just sit around the living room and like, you know, just use the coffee table, get a glass of wine.
For the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, and we're just gonna like theater of the mind it all, and it'll be just like that, just like in Leonard's, living room or whatever. And this is all we got, but it's gonna be a blast.
All right. Well, so 2 things we need to do before we wrap up. Jason, next show and tell, I want to see the studio.
Yeah,
And
I'll
the
do a
second
show and
thing
tell. For
is
the
we
studio,
have to pick a place that's centrally located to everybody and pick a weekend and play D&D.
We are so spread
Like,
out that it's going to
I
have to
bet.
be in Kansas
Be
or
like in
something.
Kansas. I was just going to say it's going to be in Kansas.
That's okay. There's nothing else
Literally
to do
in the
there.
middle of the country.
Yeah,
Literally
you're right. There's
in the
nothing
middle of
else
the
to do there. So, yeah.
That'll be
Actually,
fine. Or
that would be a
Iowa
great-
or something,
That would be a
Arkansas.
great campaign for
Right?
tourist campaign for Kansas.
Yeah.
There's
Hey,
nothing
there's a
else
lot
to
of
do, so
D&D,
come and play D&D.
Airbnb. Yes, we'll use an Airbnb.
Air D&D.
I just got a
there's a lot of
message.
theme ones out now.
I just got a message from Josh, the creator of Grimoires the Unseen.
No shit.
Hey, wanted to let you know that I finally got Grimoire and the first scenario up on DT RPG, Drive Through RPG. Thank you a million for all your help along the way. And I'm saying that's great. Send me a link.
No, that's awesome. We'll talk about that. Talk about that next time.
Again. Maybe do an interview on our show again.
Yeah.
So I dropped that in there, and I'll chat
Cool.
him up.
Yeah, we have a few people we need to get on the show.
I
did
really
have
want to play
some State
Candela
of the Game
Sturgeon.
stuff that I didn't get to do at all.
Oh my god, that's right. Shit. Because neither of us
Gentlemen.
shut up long enough. Sorry.
Neither of you shut up. That's okay.
Okay,
Let's
next
spread it over.
For next time.
Next week, you lead with that, and we will keep our mouths shut.
Sure
right.
you will.
Okay.
Sure
First,
you
I won't
will.
support that live, but I will definitely discipline myself to, at least if I do open my mouth, it's in reference to what you're presenting.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
That works.
But yeah, you lead off next week with that. I'm so sorry.
It's
All right.
all good. I'll
All
just
right.
listen to you guys babble. It's okay.
No, next week, Kristen leads off with her state of the game.
And then we can
Yeah.
do show and tell.
All right, fair enough.
That sounds
All right.
good.
Hey, Kristen, what do you got going on?
My game for tomorrow got canceled, so that's a bummer. But I still have my Sunday game, which is my Dragonbane game, and we're
Nice.
still having a great old time with that one. Man, that game is a little tough. It's kind of brutal, but it's so fun and very simple. Very simple rules.
I would love that to be a show and tell. I think that would be awesome.
Oh, sure.
And where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube and TikTok at Kristen's Epic Adventures.
Nice. Brian, what do you got going on and where can we find you?
Nothing. You can find.
He's
no, I
nowhere.
got-
He's
That's
busy
kind of
shopping
surprising.
online.
I'm looking forward to playing Strahd on Sunday with you.
Nice.
And also the
Dude.
Cyberpunk Daggerheart
Yep.
on Tuesday. What time? By the way, what time is that game?
I believe it's 3 o'clock, 3 p.m., which
We
is
may need to
5
talk about
p.m. your time. I believe.
Yeah, we may need to talk about that. But we'll do that offline. You can find me at RPG&Co and check out my website at playrpgandco.com. What about you, Jason?
I've got a open table for Wednesday. I still have one open seat for Strahd if anybody wants to join us. Neon and Leylines is technically full, but I will be opening the Fandelver table on Saturday pretty soon, and I am still working on my Firefly conversion for Daggerheart. So
Nice.
that's my main content I'm working on. Other than that, you can head on over to my website, ttrpgacademy.life, find my socials and everything over there, and check out some of our offerings on there as well. And as always, hey, Kristen, or hey, Brian, TPK.
Don't confuse me like that.
I know, it's crazy. I almost did.
Tell a story, Jason.
Play a game, Kristen.
And be kind.
Good night,
Thanks
everybody.
for joining us, everybody.